Hello, Jesslyn here. Today's presentation, let me just get this up here. All right, so this is video 3. So we've gone through mindset and kind of the basic components of what mindset is. When you hear the term mindset, what that means. And we've talked about limiting beliefs and subconscious beliefs and how that relates to our lives, how it kind of creates these sneaky patterns that we keep finding ourselves doing, repeating, and we're just not sure why. And how we developed that, we all did. We're all a little different, but how we, like kind of what we learned and what we absorbed, but we all developed these subconscious beliefs just by absorbing information in our environment as children, and how they're lodged into our subconscious minds and come up now in our adult life in these sneaky ways, right? So here in video 3, we're going to talk more about the stories that we tell ourselves that keep us stuck. And this is related to the subconscious beliefs, but we're going to get more into detail here about the stories we have on repeat and how they can create the reality that we see, that we live in, and how to move past this. My little slides. Thank you. All right, so the stories we tell ourselves. I call these stories because that's what they are. They're stories that we've told ourselves so many times that we started to believe them, but they're not really our truth. They don't really represent what we actually want in our lives, but yet they dictate a lot of what happens in our lives. And they're also call them stories because we can rewrite them. We've told them for so long and so long and so long, and we start to believe them, but we have the power to rewrite them because we're the ones that wrote them in the first place. And key point here is you are the author of your stories. You're the author of your life. Not your mom, not your brother, not your sister, not your grandma, not your dad, not your partner, not your siblings, not society. You are the author of your story. You are the author of your life. And the sooner that you write yourself a better story, a better script, the sooner you can start living a more awesome life and the life that you want to live. So there's a few steps here. We're going to go through 4 steps. Step number 1 is becoming aware of your favorite stories. We all have them. But we often don't notice them, and we don't take the time to recognize the patterns. We don't even realize it's this fake story because we have told it for so long that it's become a reality, and we just think that that's how things are. So step 1, before we can let go of these old stories, is we have to recognize that we have them. So again, a lot of internal work here to become aware of what our stories are. We have to listen to what we say, especially in our own heads, what we say to others, what we say to ourselves, what we think, and start to notice what we have on repeat. So key here is listen for, these are like the warnings, the warning signs. When you hear yourself saying these, having sentences start with these, I want you to start having alarm bells go off in your head, like, like, whoa, like, why am I saying this? What does this actually mean? Because these are the beginning of limiting beliefs and these stories that we have created for ourselves. So here's the list. There's others than this, but these are a lot of the big ones. I always forget my keys. I always do this. This always happens to me. I never I can never do this right. I can never remember this. I can never this. I can never this. I can never afford that. I can never, I can never, I can never. And I can't. I can't because I can't, because X, fill in your favorite excuse there. Because I'm too young, I'm too old, I'm too skinny, I'm too fat. Again, these are siren songs here to start listening and paying attention for. I shouldn't. Oh, I really shouldn't do that because this person will be disappointed. I really shouldn't do that because what if I get in trouble, or what if I fail, or what if whatever. Again, favorite stories here. I'm so, and insert anything negative here, anything that is not your best self, what you want for your best self. Like, I'm so boring, I'm so lazy, I'm so frustrated, tired, like whatever it is. I'm so, any negative adjective. I suck at. One of my old stories was I suck at math and I suck at computers. And now I make a living on the computer, basically. So it was a big story that I personally had to get over, that I suck at computers, because it was not true. But I believed it for so long, I believed it was true. I don't have, I wish I could. One day I'll have that. One day I'll do this. One day I'll be this. One day I'll have what I really want. One day. These are all key verbiage for stories that we've told ourselves over and over and over, and they're all limiting. So step one is become aware of this. Become aware of things you hear on repeat like this, especially in your own head, and what comes out of your mouth. All right, step two. So this is sneaky, and this takes some inner work, because it's not something that we ever stop to do or think about, and you might have never noticed this before. I certainly didn't. So when we have these stories, they set us up for, staying small, staying stuck, which isn't what we want, but we're getting something out of them. We're getting some short-term benefit, whether it's a sense of control in the moment or attention. Even though, like, these stories long-term keep us stuck and keep us from what we really wanting in the life that we really want, the person we really want to be, there's this scary span between what we want and, things we haven't had before, and we feel like this gap in between. And these stories, they keep us stuck and keep us feeling cozy and safe to protect us from that scary unknown, right? So there is some sort of benefit that we are getting out of these false stories and these stories that limit us. And it can be anything from getting attention from other people, having people come help you and be like, oh, are you okay? Sympathy, being comforted, or just feeling comfort and cozy. Like, these old stories, they feel safe because we've told them for so long. Or it could be feeling right, feeling justified that you are right, you are broke, and all of these things prove that you are right because you are broke. So again, this is sneaky here. It could just be, feeling right, feeling justified. Or it could be playing the victim and making yourself a victim to outside forces. Your boss, your coworkers, the economy, that person down the street, that person that cut you off at the red light. Everyone else, is to blame. You're the victim of your sad life, so that what you're getting out of that is not having to take responsibility, not having to take responsibility for your actions in your life and what's your life. entails right now. And again, these are all very common. So I don't want you to feel like, oh gosh, like woe is me, like what's the point, where's the hope? Because the hope is you can change this, but we have to realize and take responsibility that a lot of what we have in our lives we created, whether we meant to or whether we realized it or not. And part of that is becoming aware again of these stories and then why we created these stories in the first place, because there's a reason. They're either making us feel safe or cozy or getting attention or taking away our own responsibility for our lives. And this is really key here. And I know this gets tricky, and this is, deep hard work, but it's doable. And the good thing is that, if we are to blame for where our lives are, we are also the solution. So this whole thing, learning all of this, is to empower you that yes, your life might not be what you want right now, where you want right now. You might not be where you want to be right now, but you have the power to change that. So here's some examples, because I know this is kind of like out there. And like, hang with me here. These are examples, and these are tricky things. But example number one: if your story is you're feeling depressed, and I don't mean like clinical depression here. Like, I struggle with mental illness myself, and there's a difference between actually really being like clinically depressed and just making up a story that you're too tired, you're too sad to avoid dealing with your life. So I want to draw that distinction here, because from someone who suffers from low serotonin, I know what it feels like to actually be depressed, and it's horrible. But I also know that there's been times in my life that it's been kind of self-induced sadness to get out of doing something that I didn't really want to do, or get out of doing something that I was too scared to face or wasn't ready to face. That's what I'm talking about here. So if your story is, I feel sad, I don't feel good, it can also be you just don't feel good. I've played that card before. And even though you don't feel good, you feel awful, you're also getting out of having to work hard, getting out of having to show up, getting out of having to go to an event, getting out of having to do laundry or shower or go to the gym when you don't really want to. It feels cozy, it feels safe, it feels familiar. And it also gets you attention oftentimes because people are checking in on you. Like, do you need anything? Can I help you? Do you need me to bring you over some food or anything like that? So it is like this subconscious, sneaky way sometimes to get attention, and then to just like avoid things that we don't really want to do or don't want to face. And it also allows us to, not have to show up, not have to try too hard, not have to move forward and face uncertain possibilities or scary possibilities. And again, I mentioned this example because I've used it myself, not realizing it at the time. But in retrospect, I definitely have. I've definitely, gotten sick, kind of made myself like not feel good to avoid something, like avoid going to an event or something I didn't really want to. And rather than just being like, no, yeah, actually, I'm going to cancel. I don't want to go. I'm like, oh, I'm sorry, I can't. I don't feel good. So just an example. Example number two: if your story is you can't make money, I can't make money, what you could be getting out of it is being broke, staying broke because it proves you're right. And this also puts you into victim mode where you don't have to take responsibility for your finances. You don't have to take responsibility for not being able or not getting a different job, a better job, not finding ways to bring in more income and look at more opportunities that exist, because If you stay stuck, then you're like, well, CIN, right? I can't make money. See, told you. No money in my bank account. Told you. And so it's like a way to make you feel right. And then also it's a way to play the victim. Like, it's not my fault the economy crashed. It's not my fault I was laid off. It's like my boss's fault, my coworker's fault. When really, like, if you peel away the onion layers, there were things that caused that to happen that were you, but this is again a way to like avoid responsibility. It could be a way to get sympathy, have other people pay for things. You stay stuck in this loop of I can't afford it, and other people cover the bill for you, and it makes you not stretch and grow and kind of expand yourself to find more sources of income. And it also keeps you stuck because it keeps you from investing in yourself and investing in new opportunities and taking more risk and growing, because your story is, I'm broke, I can't afford it. So again, these are examples, super real world, super sneaky, but we all do this in some way. So just trying to shine a light on how you do this, how I do this, and how this, these stories, it sounds weird, right? But because they're keeping us stuck, but we're getting something off of it too. We're getting a false benefit, a short-term benefit a lot of the times. And that's kind of why we created the stories in the first place. So once you identify these stories and the false benefits that you're getting from them, you can start the process of letting them go and replace them with a new, more empowering story that serves you as the adult you are and serves you and the person you want to be and the life that you want to live. So step 3 is rewriting your story, writing a new story that is where you want to be, is who you want to be, and puts you on the path towards that. Oops, I just bumped the computer. So this is what you do. This is the work. Make a list of all your false stories, all of your excuses, and think about what you're gaining from them. Think about the short-term benefits that you're getting from them. And then we get to rewrite them with a new story that is more empowering. So for example, if your old story that you kept finding you were saying in your head out loud to your friend on the phone, there's just no good men left out there, or no good women, whoever you want to date. There's no good men left. This is your story and you feel like it's true because you can never find a good person to date, and it's like reiterated because any person you like meet or go on Tinder date or like whatever, it's like, oh, like they're all flawed, like I can't find any good ones, no good ones exist. And this becomes your story. And like when you have a story like this, this gets into something deeper, but there's actually this part of your brain that acts as a filter. It's called the RAS, reticular activating system. So your brain has this filter, and the filter is designed, it's built by your beliefs. So that's why it's really important to get clear on these, false beliefs, limiting beliefs, because they literally create this filter in our brains that filter out experiences and opportunities based on our beliefs. So if we believe there's no good men left, that is like a real belief in our subconscious, then that belief is in our filter, and it like will filter out opportunities, and it like basically filters out things that don't stand up to your beliefs. So like, again, if you have a strong belief that you can't make money, that you're broke, your filter's like, okay, we're broke. So it's going to like filter out like this opportunity over here that we could have done. It's going to filter out this and this. We're not going to see this door. We're not going to see this opportunity. Like it like backs up our beliefs. So that's why it keeps us stuck, because it literally like tunes out things that could change the story for us. And our brain's like, well, we don't believe that, so we're not showing them that. Like you literally won't see things. It's crazy, I know. But it's science. So that's the scientific reason why finding out these stories and rewriting them is so important and so huge, and literally changes our brains, changes our minds, which literally changes our life. So old story example, there are no good men left. The false benefit you might be getting from this is by saying there aren't any good men out there, I don't have to take responsibility for why I'm not meeting any. I don't have to take responsibility that I'm not going out anymore, that I'm not trying, that I'm not, putting on nicer clothes and going out or makeup or, like whatever it is. It's like taking away your responsibility out of the equation. So your new story, your new empowering story could be, the world is full of awesome, loving men or women, and I am fully capable and excited to go find me one. You see how much, not just only more positive this is, but it's like, yeah, there's tons of good men out there. I'm stoked about this. I'm going to go find one. And it just opens up this whole new filter, this whole new reality for you to step into and live your life by. And it's going to change your thoughts and your actions. And it's like this ripple effect of like stepping into a new reality and a new life for yourself. So let's review. So to do this, to really get real with ourselves and find our old patterns, our old stories, find out the sneaky subconscious kind of reasons we started the stories, like the benefit that we're getting out of them, and rewriting it. So here's the review. List one is list off your old stories that you've gotten into the habit of thinking, saying over the like X number of years of your life. Journal about the false rewards, these false benefits that you've been getting from them. Like get real with yourself about that and feel into them, like acknowledge them, thank them for trying to protect you, and let them go. I'll write this one in my journal. I'll literally like write down the stories, and then over it in like a different color pen, I'll write like, thank you, you can leave now, kind of thing. Because acknowledging it, thanking it for showing up, because it was created to protect you in a way, right? To make you feel better in a way. So like, thank you for being there for me, but like, I don't need you anymore. Okay. And then step 4, take each of these false rewards and write a new empowering story that represents who you want to be, what you want, and represents that, the world is abundant. It's not limited. And by like rewriting this and rewriting it in an empowering way, this is your new story, and it becomes your new truth by repeating it, writing it down every day, writing it on a postcard you can see, putting it in your phone so it comes up as like a daily reminder. So like this new story, this affirmation, like you want to say it over and over and over and over again, because your old story you were probably saying for like 20, 30 years. So it takes repetition to override and to rewrite that belief, rewrite that story so it becomes a belief. And then with your new belief, like you have to take action. And the cool thing is that once you start reaffirming things for yourself, it changes that filter in your mind and you will start to see new opportunities. You'll notice things you didn't notice before. You'll see things in a different light. Like it's really cool. um, so like you don't just, write your new affirmation over and over and over and like close it and, put it away. Like it becomes you, right? It becomes your new story. And part of that is, when your thoughts and your beliefs line up, they spur new action. And the actions are, what move you in the direction where you want to go. But the basis of that is your thoughts and beliefs. So that's why we work on that first and then take empowered action from there. So this is deep work. It's simple, but it's not easy. It's like dieting. Simple, eat less, move more, right? Simple, but not easy. Same thing with this mindset work. Like it's deep work, and it's not just reading a self-development book and then being like, okay, and like putting it down and like moving on in your life. Like you actually have to do the work, or it doesn't work. But doing this deep work like literally changes your mind and will literally empower you to change your life. So if you want more guidance, if you want support, if you want accountability on your path, on your journey to uncovering your limiting beliefs, uncovering these false stories you've told yourself, uncovering the sneaky benefits you've been getting out of them, if you want someone to help you do this and point out your blind spots, point out what you can't see, and encourage you to do the work, and not just do the work but like do the actions too, I would love to help you. You can join my mindful mentoring program. It's called Create a Life You Love. You can, this is the website here. I'm not sure if this link is clickable, but if you get this, however you get this video, whether it's in my email series or YouTube or Facebook or Instagram, wherever it is, I'll also have a link where you can get more information on my mentoring program. Or you can also just send me an email, jess@adventuring365.com. My website is adventuring365.com. So check out my website, send me an email. I offer free, 1-hour calls where we just get to chat, get to know more about each other, make sure I'm a good fit for you and, you're a good fit for me and my type of mentoring. But if this sounds like you, if you want to, or if you even if you just have any questions, the universe rewards action. So even if just taking a small little action by sending me an email and starting a conversation, I think it could be like your first step to, doing some of this work that maybe you didn't know you needed, or you knew you needed, but you were avoiding. And we can do it together and we can make it more fun. So that's all I have for you. This is the end of the 3 video series. If you'd like more on mindset stuff, you can follow me at Adventuring365 on Instagram or Facebook, or check out my website and join my email list if you're not on there. All right, guys. Thank you. Take care.